Hello and welcome to the Stress Mastery Podcast. I am the host of the Saturday podcast and my name is Peggy Romero. Thank you for joining me today. I am so grateful that you decided to listen. This week we've been talking about vitality. So what exactly is vitality? The state of being strong and active. Vitality is energy. Similar to liveliness, life, animation, high-spiritedness, exuberance and bounce, vibrancy, vim, vigor, pep, zest, sparkle, passion, fire, also force and get up and go. Get it? It's energy and lots of it. And Google said, it's the power-giving continuance of life, and it's present in all living things. So then that would mean that we all have vitality. We all have the desire to thrive, to do better, to feel good, to have energy. I fully understand that some of us have more of this energy than others, and I have to admit that at times I am a bit much for some people. I've had to teach myself to calm down. I've had to learn to relax. I didn't know how to at all. But I finally see that not everybody wants that lift that I'd like to give to them. Or should I say, impose my energy upon them? I have been upbeat all my life. Yes. I am a vitality purpose. And honestly, I cannot imagine my life being any other way. I kind of like my high-spiritedness, my exuberance and bounce. I love that I'm full of vim and vigor. I always have a new, creative, and fun idea. I'm usually up for just about anything. Well, as long as it's not just sitting around. It has been said that I do more by 8 a.m. than others will complete the whole entire day. I am early to bed, early to rise. But why wouldn't I be? The early bird gets the worm, you know. I have learned to love the early morning. I started writing this podcast around 4:30 a.m. and that was after I finished my morning routine. Green Focus Power Hour. When Bill did Set Up Sunday the other day, he was just speaking my language. I mean, everything rang true for me. It reminded me of when I first did the purpose exercise several years ago. I started to understand my purpose. It was like understanding me. Aha, I see. Wow, I finally get it. I came by this stuff naturally. This zesty spirit, I like it. It's like, okay, that's just me. And I'm going to have to learn to take the good with the bad because I really can't help it. It's my nature. It is who I am. So here are some of the vitality purpose characteristics. We are naturally motivating and have tons of energy. The vitality purpose is all about raising the energy of the tribe, preaching and teaching hope, seizing the best that life has to offer. Yeah, that's totally my MO. We believe everyone can win and grow, and we want you to be your best. I thrive on getting others to believe in themselves. I love it. So there's lots of good stuff about us. When we're connected to our heart, that is. We raise up the energy around us. We're like the Energizer Bunny, naturally early risers, spending time working on ourselves long before the rest of the world wakes up. And vitality is all about inner growth, raising the energy of the whole, but also seeking to put each one individually on a course for personal development and growth. We want you to be yourself. We want you to be your best self. And we want you to ask us to help you get there because we're happy to help. Aren't we just so loving and wonderful? I mean, look at Bill Courtright. It's his whole life. But not so fast because there is a flip side to the vitality purpose. Because when we're disconnected from our heart, we are really tough. Our pendulum swing is stagnation because we are all about high energy all the time. So when we hit any type of plateau, we will jump into the red zone, desire. Stagnation causes us to force the issue, to keep things moving because we want it to keep moving. And we'll keep pushing even when things or people should not be pushed. We just keep going for it. We get so controlling, frustrated, aggressive, and demanding. And then after all that aggression, we eventually fall into the guilt energy. If you understand the energies, you know that courage is at 200. And I've always been really comfortable there. But I've often been able to rise even higher. Even when my life was completely stressed out, I lived habitually around 150, which is anger. Aggressive, annoyed, outraged, resistant, rude, pushy, harsh, defiant, irritated, impatient, jealous, mad, mean. Yuck, yuck, yuck. You guys, I was overwhelmed most of the time. So if 150 anger energy is bad, imagine 30. I mean, 30 is really low. I'd say near death even. This is a living hell for a vitality purpose because it's such a low energy. So at 30, your feelings are cut off, can't win, worthless, loser, failure, hopeless, useless, defeated, powerless, manipulative, awful, awful, awful. Vitality purposes cannot stand low energy like that, even when it is self-created, which it is very often. So fortunately, we do pop right back up and out of there quickly. And I don't stay mad very long either. Like I go down, I hit, I bounce back up. I'm happy to apologize and I'm happy to forgive. I will be the first to ask for forgiveness because I really am sorry when I start knocking doors down. I don't like to be mean and unkind. And I cannot tell you how many times I was called a bull in a china shop. And I couldn't even see it. I really could not figure out why people saw me like that. Perceptional blindness. I just wanted to get things done. I'm so happy that I now know my purpose. Oh my gosh, it makes life so much easier. I'm able to forgive myself for those shortcomings. And it also makes me more aware of the swing. So when you see that things are stuck, which I can now see it because I spend a lot of time being much more aware of what I'm doing, and I'm ready for it now. I know, oh, okay, I'm going to start getting frustrated. And I know what my ego wants me to do with all that energy. And it all makes perfect sense to me now. I want to keep things moving forward. I can get stubborn, pushy, and aggressive when they're not progressing. Well, progressing the way I think they should. I can't handle stagnation. So then, in my frustration, I become more aggressive. That's going to end up bringing down the energy of everybody around me. I start acting like a jerk. Then I'm going to fall into guilt. It's like, oh shoot, now I drug you guys down too. I'm sorry. Yuck. Okay, let me out of here. So I pop back up and I try to make things right. I seek to raise the energy up again because that's where I'm comfortable. But it's a vicious cycle. And I know that not everybody is like me and not everything's about me. Just because I'm sorry doesn't mean that the other party wants to forgive me and pop right back up. Maybe they need to stay down in their lower energy that I slammed them into longer. I get over things really fast, but not everybody does. So you see the problem? When I was habitually in the red zone, I was often aggressive. This leaves an energy wake behind you. I could see myself, heart of gold, fists of steel. And I never meant to hurt anybody, but I sure did. And I see now the amount of pressure that I put on my kids, my family, my friends, my staff to do things better and faster was absolutely ridiculous. They're not me. I can't expect them to think what I think, do what I do, and act the way I act. And my words were often not nice, and they didn't deserve it. And of course, I wish I could take all of it back because words have power. Like they say, the ripples in the pond, we can send out words that hurt and cut like a knife, or we can lift people up with our words. Kindness, love, and encouragement. We get to choose what comes out of our mouth. Today, I seek to use the power of my words very carefully. You know, recently, somebody reminded me of that saying, people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. In some ways, I agree with that, but I have to disagree with it as a blanket statement. I know for a fact that that's not always true. Sometimes words can cut so deep that they leave a scar. We often remember exactly what somebody said to us. Some words stick with us for a lifetime. You didn't even mean to hurt somebody and you did. You wish you could take it back, but you can't. So you got to learn to forgive and let it all go. If you were hurt, decide to release that pain. And if you hurt someone, forgive yourself. Because here's the good news. You can change. It's amazing. You can start being a better version of yourself right now. I ask you, Live on purpose. Stay connected to your heart. It will change your life. I have a few things that I use to help me. I have lots of things that I use to help me, but I just want to tell you one thing. So I have this cute little chandelier in my room, and I put a pink light bulb in it a couple years ago. It's super cute, and I have a little heart down at the bottom of it. I turn it on after I make my bed every morning, and then I usually sing out loud, "Turn on your heart light, let it shine wherever you go. Let it make a happy glow for all the world to see." Well, I sing the whole song, but you guys get the picture. I believe that this puts me in a better space, in a higher energy. It puts love in the front of my mind. It opens my heart. I'm a strong and forceful woman, and I have a ton of male energy. Unfortunately, I have to remind myself to be outwardly nice. I'm not like this nurturing, loving person outwardly, even though I am on the inside. I'm not talking about reminding myself to learn to be nice, because honestly, I am a nice person. I'm reminding myself to show my kind heart. For one thing, when I asked my kids about hugging, they're like, "No, you don't hug us enough." You guys, I adore my kids. I cannot believe that I don't hug them enough. I love hugs. I need hugs. But I wasn't raised with hugs, and apparently I didn't raise my kids with enough hugs either. So if I haven't seen you in a long time, I'm happy to give you a hug. And by the way, David Barretto, wow, best hugger ever. He is a pleasure to hug. I love hugs, but it's the day-to-day hugs that we all need, because we all need love. We all need human touch. And I know, I can create this habit when I decide to, and I will, because I think it's really important. Here's another thing. I don't smile often enough. So my granddaughter told me that I have RBF. Unfortunately, I asked her what it meant, because I hadn't heard it before. This was a couple of years ago, and she told me it's called resting bitch face. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, how can that be? How can I have RBF when I'm happy at heart? I mean, I'm always happy. I guess I just don't show it, so I could smile more. They say, smile and the world smiles with you, right? I've actually done experiments at the mall, carnival, and other busy places. If you look at people and smile, most of them will smile back at you. Guys, that's a positive energy wake. And here's another thing I want to work on. I rarely say I love you. I have a heart overflowing with love for people, for my kids, my family, my friends. I have a love for you and for all mankind. It's not that I don't love you, it's just that I don't say it. Well, unless somebody says it to me first. The funny thing is, I love it when people say it to me. I say it right back. I love them right back. So that's why I have that beautiful pink heart light in both of my bedrooms. This way it reminds me to show my love. By deciding to sing, I'm hearing it. I turn on my heart light every morning. I open my heart every morning. It reminds me to put my open-heartedness and my love out into the world every single day. It reminds me to do my best, to be my best. So I'm not suggesting that you do what I do. I'm just asking that you decide what you need to do to grow. Find your shortcomings and eliminate them, taking steps up, grow. Because it will create a positive energy wake around you, beside you. And if we all send out positivity, then that's more and more positivity, sending out a positive wake, a loving ripple effect. These are the things that raise up the energy in the world. These are the things that create a shift in the planet. Regardless of your purpose, regardless if you even know your purpose, Google said we all have vitality. It's the power that gives continuance of life. It's present in all living things, everything living, and that includes you and includes me. So if you decide to muster up your vitality, then you will most likely have the desire to raise up the energy of the people around you too, because it helps keep your energy up. So I just finished reading a book called The Courage to be Disliked. And in that book, they made it very clear that connection and contribution to others is what gives meaning to our lives. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If we hurt another living being, we feel terrible. Just like giving to others makes us feel good. So being connected to others leads to a more fulfilling life, plain and simple. I love to feel connected to people. And no, I'm not just talking about the want to belong. I'm talking about connection, loving people. I love to lift people up. And I'll spend my time raising the energy in a group. I want everyone to be happy. I can't help it. People always tell me, Peggy, you always point out the best in everyone. You always find the bright side to everything. Well, I think it comes naturally now that I understand the vitality purpose. And besides, the dark side really stinks. So whatever your purpose, if you're connected to it, you will always feel better. And when disconnected, you'll be lacking. Among other things, you'll be missing out on higher energy and peace, love, and joy. Guys, let me remind you, there is no peace in the red zone. So you got to stay connected to your heart. That is vitally important. Be true to yourself. Don't ignore the things that you know you need to work on. Have faith and believe in you. No doubts, no fear. Believe me, if I can change, so can you. Have certainty that all things are possible. You have not because you ask not. So ask, and know that it will be given to you. Seek and you will find it. But you have to stay connected to your heart and live in the higher energies, like 200 courage, 250 neutrality, and 350 willingness. Even if you don't understand the numbers, it's okay. You know that courage feels like a better energy than guilt, and you know that willingness feels better than anger or grief and all those things. So have faith in yourself and faith in God. Stop doing and start being. Doing is in your head and being is in your heart. If you live this way, then you will create the type of faith that will become the force that can move mountains. Believe in yourself. All things are possible for those who believe. And that's a promise. And that's not only a promise from God, it's also a promise of the universe. It's quantum physics. It's scientific. So you can believe it. It's true. Whichever angle, science or spirituality, it's true. True for one, true for all. So don't sell yourself short ever. Connect to your vitality. That vital force that is present in every living thing is present in you. And I'll suggest once again that you go to the Stress Mastery community today. It is absolutely free. Go in and get your purpose. It's just a series of questions. If you answer them honestly from the heart, then you'll find the purpose archetyped and you'll know your values. You'll end up seeing this snapshot of you, and it is an incredible tool. I mean, like I said, when I first realized that when things aren't moving forward, I snap, well, of course, it made it easier for me to catch myself before I dove headfirst into the pit of the red zone valley. I created the awareness that I needed to stop the vicious cycle that I described to you earlier. And just because you have always reacted a certain way doesn't mean that you can't change the way you behave. It doesn't mean that you cannot respond from your heart instead of react. Guys, I'm living proof. I haven't snapped in a long time. I have a new perspective. I see things differently. I've shifted my reality, which changed my identity, and I don't live in pain and fear anymore. I cannot tell you how much happier I am and how much more peaceful I am. I changed, and so can you. You really can. Okay, so while you're in the community doing the purpose exercise and finding your purpose, also, please print out the energies document. I know we talk about them a lot here because it's so important to understand. I printed mine in color and I refer to them all the time. I have copies all over the place. What you think you create, remember? So what are you thinking? How do you feel? Where am I on this scale and where do I choose to be? Just seeing the difference in the green zone energies and the descriptions of them compared to the red zones on paper, it will encourage you to live your life higher. It feels so much better. It is so exciting. Living in the green zone is like getting an A on a test or something. So please download the energy document. It's great information. It really helps you realize where you're at, as will understanding your purposes and values. So don't put it off another day. Here's the really cool thing. Right now, we are discussing week by week each of the purposes. And so I guess it's going to take us a couple months because there's 10, but we're going to talk about all 10 of them. So right now you have the opportunity to find what your purpose is and hone in on what we're talking about. It's great. Another reason to figure this out now is because 'tis the season for goal setting, right? So using the higher goal setting process, you'll need to connect your goals to your purpose. If your goals are just arbitrary and don't align with who you truly are, then they're just going to drop out of focus like, they have so many times in the past. Our goal setting process will set you up for success. So once again, just go to www.stressmastery.com, click on free membership. If you need help, email David at livingrightwithbillcortright.com, or you can find me at peggyromero.com. We are so happy to help you. So happy. Just reach out. And speaking of help, while you're in the Stress Mastery community, there's lots of help. There are coaches, and then there's the other members, and we're all in the same journey as you are. We learn from each other. And the coaches are happy to meet you wherever you're at and guide you to take the next step. No worries, no stress, no nothing. There's actually no reason not to hop in and check it out. And I would love to see you there. Actually, this Vitality Purpose would love to see you raise up your energy. So that's it for today's podcast, you guys. I hope this helps you. And remember, our mission here is to create a shift in the planet. And you can join us on the mission by simply like, share, and subscribe. The links are right below the show notes. As always, until next time, I love you. God bless you. Stay inspired.